Hello my fellow perfume lovers, I'm really happy to see you on my channel, and today we're going to talk about really hyped new perfume releases, and if this is something that you're interested in, then please stay tuned. And let me start with the most hyped perfume right now, that is Rare by Rare Beauty. And when I first heard about it, I was not planning on picking it up because I've heard reviews saying that it's extremely similar to Burberry Goddess, and I can confirm it is very similar. But honestly, I'm a big fan of this scent profile, and I have just a travel spray of Burberry Goddess, so I decided that personally for me, it's not going to be redundant to have both, so I picked it up. But of course, take it into account if you already have Burberry Goddess, you probably do not need Rare because they are extremely similar. So Rare, to me, smells like a Burberry Goddess, but without the lavender note. It smells very kind of sparkly and effervescent in the opening, and the kind of maybe a bit spicy, but the spiciness is more like sparkliness, I would say. And then I get beautiful dry down of vanilla, cacao, tonka. It's very creamy, super simple, very easygoing, and just very feminine. I would say that this perfume is perfect for wearing it for everyday occasions where you want to smell nice, but you don't want to overpower people and you don't want to, overpower yourself. It's just like a simple running errands, going to the gym, maybe going, somewhere very basic and casual. That's when this fragrance comes in. So I think it's perfect for just sitting at home and doing nothing. It's just so versatile and overall very universally pleasing. I honestly think it's super good gift or like a good blind buy if this is something that you want to do, because it smells super inoffensive, and even if you're not completely in love with the scent, you're probably going to at least like it, because again, there is just nothing to dislike. It's a very simple and inoffensive fragrance, like I've said. And also, it's a good alternative to Burberry Goddess if you do not like the note of lavender, because some people really hate it. I'm not one of them. I love this note in Burberry Goddess, but if you really hate this note, then try Rare because it doesn't have the lavender note at all. And also, if you have been wanting Burberry Goddess but you thought it's too expensive, then this is also a really good alternative, because this perfume costs $75 for 50 ml and Burberry Goddess is $150 for 50 ml. So this is half the price, but just as good. And I highly suggest for everybody who's like a really big fan of the scent profile to try Rare. And if you have been wanting to have Goddess for some reason but you do not have it yet, definitely try Rare because you'll probably love it. And the next perfume is Queen's Caramel by Alice Brooklyn. This perfume also has been getting lots of hype on TikTok. A lot of people just got it in PR to review it before the launch. And what I can say is that probably I'm not the biggest fan of this fragrance personally. Like, maybe I will change my mind when the weather gets a bit colder, but as of right now, this is too sticky, sweet, like it's just so cloying. I wore it. It was super hot, and I'm in Florida, and I was just overpowered by this fragrance, to be honest. So upon the first spray and pretty much through the dry down, I smell salted caramel. Like, salted caramel is the star of the show. No wonder it's called Queen's Caramel. This is primarily a caramel fragrance, and all the rest of the notes I don't honestly pick up. Like maybe some maple, maybe some like white chocolate smell, but all the rest of the notes I just do not smell because the caramel overpowers the scent completely for me. It's extremely sweet. It smells as if you're walking into one of those like maybe ice cream shops or like candy shops. Not really candy shop, but some kind of bakery that bakes like stuff with caramel, and you smell this intense smell of caramel and that's what I get. It's just so overpowering. It's so intense that I just could not really enjoy it. Like if it was a bit toned down, if it was a bit diluted with some other kind of contrasting notes, I think I would enjoy it a lot more. But this fragrance is just very simple for me. It's very straightforward. It's also very linear. Like it doesn't really evolve a lot from beginning to the dry down. It stays the same. It kind of becomes a bit more toned down, but it's still the same intense sweet of caramel. With that, I will probably try it a couple more times and see if it works for me, but as of now, I'm not the biggest fan of the scent. And also, I want to mention that to me, to my nose, it is similar to Bianco Latte, it is similar to Escapade Gourmand, to those kind of fragrances. So if you're a big fan of them, and if you already have them, honestly, you probably do not need Queen's Caramel, just because it's going to be redundant in your collection. But if you're like a very big fan of the scent profile and you want to have as many scents like that as possible, then try Queen's Caramel. You will probably love it. And also, if you do not have those scents but you're curious, you know, about Queen's Caramel, then I'm just letting you know that it smells very similar to those scents, so at least you kind of have like an idea of how Queen's Caramel might smell like. This is true gourmand. This is for people who really love their sweet perfumes, and for people who kind of want to smell a bit like food. You know, if this is something that you enjoy, you'll probably love Queen's Caramel. But as of now, this is probably not for me. And next perfume I'm going to talk about is a complete love for me. And honestly, it's a completely unexpected love, and it's Fleur de Peau Eau de Toilette. So to give you a bit of background, I did not like Fleur de Peau ever. Like, I tried it multiple times and I wanted to love it, but I just kind of did not really have a chemistry with this fragrance. I just did not like how it smelled. It smelled very powdery. It smelled like baby wipes, and it just smelled kind of old-fashioned and dusty and vintagey, and not in a good way. So I did not really understand what the hype was about with Fleur de Peau. And when the Eau de Toilette came out like a couple weeks ago, I was kind of on the fence about trying it, because again, I thought, how different can it be? And let me tell you, it can be very different. So if you're like me and you did not like Fleur de Peau and you wanted it to be lighter, less baby wipes, and like less vintagey type of smell, then Fleur de Peau Eau de Toilette is for you. Like, I'm honestly just in love with this fragrance right now because it's so good. It's like you took all the negative things about Fleur de Peau that I personally did not like, and you created this. It's just perfect. There's nothing I would fix about this fragrance, and it's my fragrance of the day. And let me spray it again. What I can say is that longevity is not great, but honestly, Diptyque is not known for their longevity and projection, and it's Eau de Toilette, so what can you say? This opens up with pink pepper and some mandarin. I think like there's something bright and citrusy in the opening, but that quickly goes away and you're left with a magnolia and iris. And I do pick up on magnolia, like mostly in the opening. I would say like first maybe 30 minutes to an hour you smell magnolia, so it's quite floral, but it's very nice. It's like juicy, spring forward type of floral. It's like fresh floral, not like dusty or vintagey type of floral. And then you get iris, and I really love the note of iris here. It's done super well. It's so smooth, it's so creamy. It adds like a very big degree of sophistication to this fragrance, and it just smells so elegant and put together. And then in a dry down you get ambrette and musk, and it's the most beautiful dry down. Honestly, it just smells like your skin but better with a touch of iris. It's hard for me to describe it, but it smells amazing, and there is a bit of sweetness coming from maybe ambrette, maybe the leftovers of magnolia, but it has this very subtle sweetness, a much needed sweetness, you know, that kind of dilutes the irisy and musky dry down. And I wanted to mention that it smells similar to Glossier You. If you love Glossier You, you will probably love this scent, but this is more like powdery, more grown-up, sophisticated and elegant version of Glossier You. If Glossier You is like a younger, you know, more carefree sister, then this is like a grown-up, has it all together type of sister. It's super good. I really love it. And if you like powdery, musky, ambrette type of scents, your skin but better type of scents, but with some, you know, more interesting touches and with some powderiness and iris, you'll probably love Fleur de Peau Eau de Toilette. And I highly suggest, if you have not tried it yet, definitely try it. And also, like, if you love Fleur de Peau the original, you will probably love it as well, because it's just like a toned down, more like spring summer version of Fleur de Peau. And if you did not like it like me, then you will probably love this version, just because they took out all the challenging kind of parts that people, you know, were not a fan of, and then they gave us this, and this is perfect, and I'm a big fan of it. And last but not least is Pêche Velours by Maison Mataha. And if you guys know me, if you have been watching my videos, you know I'm usually partial to the note of peach, so I was kind of excited for this fragrance, but also like I was fairly neutral. Like, I know I'm gonna smell it, but I did not think I'm going to fall in love, and I did not fall in love. Surprise, because I'm just not a big fan of peach. But overall, I think if you love peach, you'll probably love this fragrance, because it's a very well done peach, and it's like an elegant take on peach. It is not your juvenile, like super fruity, juicy, or super like artificial type of peach. And there are many like artificial peach fragrances that I completely just dislike. This is not like that. This is more elevated version of peach, which I really like, and it opens up with a note of peach. Surprised again. And it's kind of like, you know, a bit juicy, a bit playful, but nothing too much, nothing overpowering. It almost smells like peach fuzz. You know, if you take a fresh peach in your hand and you smell it up close and you smell this kind of like fuzzy peachy smell, that's what I get in opening. And then I do get a lot of violet. It's a bit dusty, a bit powdery, a bit floral. I honestly do not smell jasmine or tuberose. I think they're very faint, at least to my nose. Kind of the violet takes over, which I really like. I think the combination of peach and violet works really well because violet, you know, it elevates the fragrance, it adds a bit more sophistication and powderiness, and peach makes it more juicy and playful, and there is this interesting contrast that's in play, and it works really well in my opinion. And then the dry down, you know, I still smell a bit of peach, a bit of violet. There's also a bit of musk and vanilla. Overall, this is super easy to wear, everyday type of scent, perfect for spring, summer, and just everyday occasions. If you like your fruity, floral type of scents, if you want to smell unassuming, fresh and juicy, and, you know, a bit floral, then you'll probably like Pêche Velours. And of course, if you're a big fan of peach note, this is a must try, just because I feel like this is a peach well done. And overall, I found this fragrance very pleasing, and I would wear it if somebody gifted it to me. You know, if I had it in my collection, I would wear it. I would probably use up my sample, but I'm not going to buy it just because this is not a scent profile that I usually gravitate towards. But overall, this is a well done scent. And also I wanted to mention that Lucky Scent, I don't know why, but they started doing 1 milliliter sprays. Finally, it's sprays. It's not every scent. I have ordered from them for in the past months a couple times, and it's like a mix. Some of them are still dampers, some of them are sprays, and I'm super happy. When I first saw a spray, I thought they completely got rid of the dampers, but I was a bit disappointed when I realized they still have the dampers. Pay attention, you know, on their website, some perfumes have 1 milliliter spray, and some perfumes still have like 0.7 milliliter damper. Overall, I highly recommend you guys Lucky Scent, and especially with this little upgrade, it's much better. It's just so much better. You don't have to decant it into a spray, you don't have to dab, like it's so much easier. And I really hope they will get rid of the dabbers and eventually do the sprays going forward. And so these were my opinions on this super hyped fragrances. I really hope that you liked it, and I really hope that you found value in my video. And if you did, then please hit a like and subscribe. You're going to be helping out my channel immensely, and I really hope to see you in my next video. Bye!